Imagine a land drowning in chaos, a kingdom once protected by the mighty Roman Empire, now abandoned, shattered, and bleeding. Britain, in the year 500 AD, was a land where hope had almost died. Villages burned at night. Children grew up hearing the sound of sword clashes instead of lullabies, and every sunrise reminded people that the enemy was coming closer again. For decades, the Saxons, fierce warriors from across the sea, had been swallowing Britain piece by piece, one village today, another tomorrow. Some resisted, most surrendered, and many simply vanished into history without a trace. Britain was collapsing, and in the middle of this darkness, whispers began to spread. Whispers of a warrior who refused to bow, a leader who fought like a storm, a man many believed was chosen by destiny. His name was Arthur. No, not the fairy tale king sitting on a golden throne. This Arthur was different, rough, battle-scarred, half myth, half history, a commander forged in the fire of war, a man who could rally broken fighters with just a single sentence: stand. Britain still lives. By the winter of 499 AD, Arthur knew one thing clearly. If the Saxons weren't stopped soon, Britain would die forever. They already controlled the east. Their armies moved like a wave, unstoppable, merciless, hungry. And this wave was heading toward the western hills, the last stronghold of the native Britons. Then came the moment that changed history. A scout arrived one night, breathless and shivering. His message was simple, but terrifying. The Saxon army is marching, 40 war bands, thousands of warriors. They are heading for the hill fort at Badon Hill, a place where ancient stones stood like silent guardians, an ancient fortress surrounded by steep slopes. Arthur understood instantly. This was the place where Britain would either be saved or erased. He called his warriors, the last defenders of the land. They weren't polished soldiers. They were farmers, hunters, monks, blacksmiths, men with nothing left except courage. When Arthur spoke to them that night, he didn't give a speech full of glorious promises. He simply said, "If we fall tomorrow, our children will grow up as slaves. If we stand, even wounded, Britain will breathe again." And that was enough. The morning of the battle arrived with a cold wind cutting through the hill. Mist crawled slowly across the valley, hiding the enemy movements. The sun rose like a red wound in the sky, and suddenly, through the fog, the Saxon horn screamed. The ground shook with thousands of feet. Their shields glittered in the morning light like a wall of iron. Arthur positioned his men at the top of the hill, forcing the Saxons to climb the steep slope. His strategy was simple: exhaust them before they reached the crest. But the Saxons were relentless. They climbed with fury, shouting their war cries. The first clash was brutal. Saxon axes slammed into British shields. Spears shattered. Blood sprayed across the mud. The hill echoed with the screams of the dying. The battle was so intense that many later said it felt like the earth itself was cracking open. Arthur fought on the front lines, not behind, not hidden, but beside his men. His sword swung like a silver flash. His shield absorbed blow after blow, and every time he fell back, he rose again stronger. The Britons drew courage from him like fire from a torch. Hours passed. The hill was covered with bodies. The fog turned red. But still, the Saxons kept coming. By midday, the Britons were exhausted. Many had lost their weapons and fought with stones, broken spears, anything they could grab. The Saxon warlord, a giant named Cerdic, pushed forward with his elite fighters, determined to break the final defense. Arthur saw the danger. If Cerdic reached the top, the line would collapse. So Arthur did something no one expected. He charged down the hill alone. He didn't wait for backup. He didn't wait for the perfect moment. He ran downward like a thunderbolt, tearing through the fog. His warrior shouted in disbelief, but it was too late. Arthur had already reached the Saxon vanguard. He slammed into them with such force that the entire front line broke. Cerdic roared and swung his axe, but Arthur dodged, struck, and drove him backward step by step. The clash between them was like two mountains colliding. Arthur's warriors, seeing their leader fighting like a creature born of legend, found new strength. They roared and charged down the hill with him. The Saxons suddenly felt pressure from above and the sides. Their formation shattered. Cerdic's men began to fall. The Britons pushed harder, and then it happened. The moment historians still debate and storytellers call the turning point of an era. Arthur struck Cerdic with a blow so powerful that the Saxon warlord fell to the ground. Silence spread for a heartbeat, and then the fear hit the Saxons like a storm. Their leader was down, and the hill was rising against them. Panic, retreat, collapse. The Saxon army broke and ran. Some threw down their shields, some slipped on the bloody mud and were trampled. Others fled into the forest, never to return. By sunset, the valley was silent, except for the wind and the cries of wounded soldiers. Arthur stood at the top of Badon Hill, covered in blood and dust, but alive. Britain had survived, and for the first time in decades, hope returned. That battle didn't just save a land, it created a legend. Some say Arthur was a real commander. Some say he became King Arthur of the legends. Some say he never existed at all. But one truth remains. On that day,